I figured out the problem, Ben. It helps if you hit go live. But it's funny too, because I looked over at OBS and was like, oh, I forgot to start Twitch and Kick. And forgot to hit the go live button on YouTube. I thought I had already done that. Oops. So, let me... Yeah, that is an important step. So let me run through this whole freaking thing again. Oh, told you Blaze earlier today. I'm under the gun. So, anyway, I got this thing called Sunlesswood. A guy sent it to me about a month ago, and I thought I was going to let Glee run through it, but we just never got around to it. So today, I'm going to do that instead of Moss and Stone, because I don't really have anything to do there other than more playtests. It's some kind of solo adventure. I haven't read through it. I've just looked at the first few pages to get an idea of what we're going into, but not anything with the adventure itself. So, I'm assuming fantasy. Now, what I was saying before to nobody, I was wondering why y'all were so quiet. Y'all, if I'm not started right on the hour, y'all got to be like, hey, push the start button. But anyway, the cover there says there lists a few games to play it with, but then like in the book, it's play it with anything. So I guess we're going to use TriCube. I thought about nuts, but we're just going to use TriCube because TriCube is super simple. And I mean, both nuts and TriCube works good for solo. Let's make this bigly where y'all can see it. I gotta share screen space with chat. All right. So let's see. TriCube needs a archetype, perk, quirk, right? So the red ones are going to be our HP tokens. Put them up there, and these are going to be our karma tokens. I made them myself. Y'all like them? Little acorn coins. So I'm going to pick Brawny because that's simple. Strength, not a barbarian. So this thing, I don't know much about the setting. It's just... Yeah, he did so the guy who wrote it also did the artwork. It was kind of a one-man show. And I wish... It didn't really tell you what you're getting into, I don't think. A short adventure meant to be played alone. It is designed to flow easy, but you will be the main character. A gloomy forest filled with fantastic and enigmatic elements. Yeah, it doesn't really describe the setting, which Cinder Edge did. What was really nice, like that introduction page lets you know really good what you were in store for. This is just like a how-to play. How to use an oracle. Examples. Yeah, so I have like no idea, like dragon magic fantasy or just kind of a weird forest or something, so I'm gonna assume, what's up, Kazdog? I'm going to assume it's like basic fantasy, so, you know, dragons, magic kind of stuff. So with that said, what kind of character are we gonna make here? He needs a perk and a quirk. And we picked the brawny archetype, so I'm strong. I'm strong, boy. I could just be a barbarian, but we can be a little more creative than that. What if I'm like a reptilian lizard guy? Who can spit acid. There you go. Corrosive spit. There we go. Corrosive spit. And what's my quirk? My tail falls off sometimes and gets me off balance. I don't know. Actually, I need something I can use more. Because we need quirks. and betray your fluffy brethren. Yeah, we'll be a little different. A quirk. Missing toe. Tends to trip. There you go. Okay. Can I draw a lizard man? Not really. That's such a thin line. I didn't realize we were so zoomed out. What's up, Twice Did? Alright. So, in order to make him a lizard... Oh, you can't even see him. Let's say in order to make him a lizard man, we just need to put a tail on him. But y'all can't even see the tail. Alright. Ready for adventure. And a shield. There we go. Give into the cold blood. Alright, everybody's showing up. Let's do this. Okay. So I guess... So for those just showing up, we're going to run through this little solo adventure thing I got up over here. I have no idea what we're getting into. I haven't read it. But we're going to use Tricube Tails. Hence the 3 health tokens up there and 3 karma tokens. And that's the entire character sheet, so. Finally playtested my 1-pager. It's broken. Gotta fix it. But hey, now you know at least some of what's broken. Like Memelian said, survive the dinosaur extinction. Yeah, buddy. I mean, crocodiles, alligators survived, right? Haven't they been around since that period? Alligators and crocs are scary, man. Alright, so this is like the front of the adventure. This is it. Step 1. Or chapter 1. Part 1. Phase 1, we will say. Scene 1. Excuse me. I would like my ability to select text. You flee through the forest, scratching your face on the branches. You look back and see only foliage. You do not trust your senses. Oh no, as you have barely eaten or slept. What you do recognize well is the pain which you endure on every stride you take with your bare foot. Only one foot. To keep your mind alert, you try to remember where you lost your shoe. Explain who is chasing you and why he won't give up until he catches up with you. Or roll a die. Should we just like totally randomize it? Oh, that reminds me. I need my dice. I gotta get my dice roller up. Someone who was deeply hurt by your last love affair. Oh my. A very devout person whose church has asked for your sacrifice because they believe you are cursed. You have a physical trait that may associate with the evil one. What is it? Oh my. Barefoot. We are a lizard. It's a sore subject. Grenades are good, but the rules were unclear. Makes sense to you, but not everyone else. Also, why is Steam taking forever to open? My dice roller is in Steam. Slow blow. Alright, well, we're waiting on that. I do have a D6 here, because that is taking a ridiculously long time. A shapeshifter whose true nature you discovered. Ooh, I like that one. A bounty hunter hired by someone who believes you stole from him. Someone possessed by a spirit thirsty for revenge. Someone you ruined long ago just found out you cheated. Oh. I vote for the cruel indifference of the dice when given a choice. I think that would be fun for stream. Shotguns are great trench cleaners. Handguns are great because they can shoot in melee. Rifles are great against those, but are suicide when extra steps inside the trench. Alright. I got a 6, which is someone you ruined long ago. You just found out they cheated. Okay. Alright, so let's do that. I did this one. From now on, let's call this being the Hunters with 2 S's. Go to point 2. You can't believe it. The smell of smoke, food, and shelter. You can't afford to be cautious and rush forward. Before you know it, you are under a roof, in front of a fire, and with someone else offering you food. Paradise. Explain who is with you, and in addition to welcoming you into his home, has healed your foot and even presented you with a new shoe. Nice, for my lizard feet and my missing toe. From now on, let's call this being the host. Go to point 3. You converse and hit it off. He shares you his concern. 2 days ago, a loved one of his ventured into the northern forest and has not returned. Explain who... Oh, there goes Steam, finally. Golly, why did that take so long? Sophie's Dice. Here we go. Let me... Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. Where is Tim Dice? Here we go. We'll pick that. It does not seem to be working. It does seem to be working. There you go. Look at all those dice. So I think if we do this... There we go. And then we can just roll some dice. There we go. We're in business now. All right. Oh yeah, I love how that doesn't actually go away. Okay. Steam has been weird the last few days. Has something big dropped? I don't know, sometimes when you open it, it does like that little tiny update. It just takes forever. It's so annoying. Anyway, you converse and hit it off. He shares with you his concern. 2 days ago, a loved one ventured into the northern forest and has not returned. Explain who this person is. The host adds that his lost being would be of great help to you in neutralizing the huntress. Explain how he would or roll a die. Okay. So we still have to explain who the person is. I'll just say it's his woman. Wait, why am I rolling that die? I just went through all that trouble to get this die up here. 6! Again, he can magically remove memories from anyone he touches. That would actually be very helpful considering it's somebody I cheated. Right? Someone you ruined long ago just found out you cheated. Okay. So, yeah. That will be a very handy trick for later. From now on, we will refer to this being the lost one. Okay. The host begs you to go out in search of him. Well, we just said it was a woman. That's okay. In return, he offers to slow down or weaken whoever is pursuing you, which he has ways of accomplishing. You accept. Go to point 4. The path runs between tall, thick trees that barely let any light through. You take a last look at the cabin you are leaving behind and recall what the host has just told you. The forest you are entering is called Sunlesswood. Dun dun dun. The title. I lost my place. It stretches for many miles to the cold north, and the locals cannot enter it. Explain why they can't or roll a die. Okay, well, we decided we're rolling dice, so let's give it a good flip. Oh, it went off screen. I can't even see it. Let's try that again. 1. Oh boy. It is a forest forbidden for generations by a blood pact with the dark people. Oh man. Oh man. Go to point 5. Cheese and dog. You feel the weight of the backpack and smile thinking about the cheese and bread you have just received. Write down in your character sheet the equipment you want and you believe reasonable to have been found in the hut. Consider what you might need. Oh man, what did we get? Cheese and bread, apparently. Let's see. We can make that a little smaller. Equipment and things. Cheese and bread. This the group therapy session? Sure is. How about some rope? He's giving me stuff for like traveling and surviving, right? Cheese and bread, rope. What else would be in our backpack from this friend of ours? Never realized digital dice could be unreadable. What would the other word for unreadable be? Illegible? Can you not read the die? Let's see. Don't like pink on blue? How about this one? The gambling dice. Those look a little better, don't they? Walking stick. Hey, I like that. Wouldn't be in the backpack, but he probably gave us one. '90s PC adventure. Hey, that's a great time. Dice is tilted on the edge of a rolling tray. It's called something else. Oh, well, I guess I don't know that one. Let's see. Here, you can put it if you want. I don't know how offensive it is. I'll have the Discord chat open. Alright. Cheese and bread, rope, and a walking stick. I feel like that's pretty generous, right? That'll keep us upright. Maybe a, how about a little fire starter, too? I've never heard that word. Or wait, I might be thinking of what it's actually called. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway. Alright. Now we have some equipment. A dog trots happily in front of you, sniffing. It will accompany you in your search. Oh, we get a dog friend because it knows the lost one well. The after effects of an accident do not seem to affect its mood. What accident? Explain what it is or roll a die. Oh, okay. That's why I didn't explain it. I'm smart. Here we go. 6 again. Man, we're rolling good today. Oh, it has no teeth. Oh, man. Our dog friend has no teeth. I fear no filter. Alright, so now we got a dog companion that's all gums. What kind of dog is it? Is it a big husky? Big wolf? Or is it a little wiener dog? Y'all can figure that one out. The path blurs and soon you find yourself following the dog through the brambles until you reach a stream where the dog seems to lose the trail. Oh no. You look around and the presence of the forest overwhelms you. Never before have you been in a forest where the trees are so tall and the thick branches so dense that so little light filters through. From now on, you will have to decide how to organize the search. Each day has 3 turns. Oh no, we got instructions. Each day has 3 turns, morning, afternoon, and evening. With the help of paper and pencil, you will have to keep track of the turns and days, as well as the food and torches. In each turn, you must decide what to do. Look for the lost one, forage, or rest. Oh no. Give his dog honey. You must decide what to do. Look for the last one, forage, or rest. Okay. That's more than I wanted to keep up with. Looking for the lost one will allow you to advance in your mission. Foraging gives you the possibility of finding food, furs, and materials to make torches. I gave myself fire starter. Does that count? Resting once a day is necessary to continue in good condition. Moving through the forest is exhausting. The consequences of not having eaten or rested during the last day are direct. All the dice rolls you make will be done with disadvantage. This means that you will roll the dice twice and keep the worst option. So in TriCube, that's going to be... I think you would just increase the difficulty. You'd bump it up to 6 or something like that, right? I mean, technically you could take away a die, but I think the way we'll do it is it'll up it by 1. Because everything's like at 5, so you just up to 6. And if we have advantage, we'll drop it down to 4. Decide in which turn of the day you are now and what you want to start doing. Well, how about noon the next day? So let's do this. Morning after... Oh, I see how he does it. Alright, so... I guess I'll just keep track over here. Day 1. Behind the chat. Y'all don't really need to see that, I don't guess. What do we got? Morning, afternoon, and night. So we didn't have a morning. We're already in the afternoon. And night. Okay. We can do that. Decide which turn you did. We're afternoon. If you look for the lost one, go to point 7. If you forage, go to 8. If you rest, go to 9. Well, we're just starting, so let's search. Let's go to point 7, which is the next one. What do they call that? L is looking for, F is foraging, as okay, so L for looking. Alright. You advance through trees and bushes, up and down slopes, around huge boulders, jumping streams and fording rivers. Always alert, you look for signs or tracks and listen to all the noises in the forest. If you are playing with Knave, you must make a wisdom saving throw. We're not. To determine if you find any, because I don't know how to play this or the other one. Karen? K-Run? I don't know how you pronounce it. Entertain me, Squirrel! I'm trying, I know. You're stuck at an airport. What time is it over there? Where you're at? Is it like some weird hour now? If you are playing Karen, you will make a will saving throw to determine if you find any clues. Okay, so what we're trying to do is find some clues. So that sounds kind of like a crafty or dexterity thing. I could argue, well, crafty or dexterity in the TriCube sense. That would probably be crafty, and I don't think my guy's very... I'd be okay at that. He's like a lizard dude in the woods, I feel like. So he's okay at that. So it's challenge of 5, and we get 2d6. I gotta find my dice roller. Alright, so 2d6. We failed immensely. Okay. Difficulty to overcome the roll. 25. Wow. Alright, add +1 to the roll for each turn you have looked for before this one. I have not. +2 to the roll as long as the dog is still with you. Oh, we're getting... Oh, okay. Well, I don't think any amount of bonus is going to help me here, because if I added 1 for the dog, that'd just get me to a 3. And if I used a karma, that'd just get me to 4. So, like, I super failed that roll. Looking for during a night turn and no torches or any kind of night vision. I'm in a lizard. I might have night vision. Subtract only 2. Okay. Interesting. What is the world's most popular role-playing game? Is that like a reference to D&D, or is there actually a game called the world's most popular game, or role-playing game? If you pass the roll successfully, your effort is rewarded. Go to point 34. Well, it wasn't. If not, go to point 10. It is normal to fail in your first turns. The forest is very large. I like that. Go to point 10. All right. Ooh, here's a cool picture. There's me and the dog. My toothless dog. 6 hours difference for me. Oh, okay. 1:30 p.m. No, it's 1:30 now. It's 1:30 for me. How can it be 1:30 for you too? All the way over there. D&D tends to claim that, and people refer to it like that. Oh, okay. I've never... Alright. Where's Sunless, or what is Sunlesswood? Where'd you come across it? Well, if you'd been here at the beginning, like a real fan, Crab, you'd know that. Somebody sent it to me about a month ago, and I've been sitting on it. I was going to let Glee run through it, but we just never got around to it, so. Your laptop shows local time. 7:30 there. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it is right at 6 hours. The world, D&D, if you specifically find World of Darkness is pretty popular. Oh, Call of Cthulhu in Japan. Friends, not fans. All right, what did I say? Point 10. The Huntress has entered the forest. Uh-oh, and is searching for you. You sense it. You know it. A shiver runs down your... I already forgot what the Huntress was. It's somebody that I cheated. That's right. That's about all we gave them. Shiver runs down your spine every time you think about it. You must hurry in your search, because with each hour that passes, you feel her getting closer. Roll 1d20 and add +1 for each turn that has passed before this one. If the dice rolls a 20, or if the sum exceeds 25, you have the Huntress on you. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, so... Is a day a turn, or like each step of the day is a turn, right? So we're still on afternoon, so no turns have passed. So it's just a straight D20. 5. Okay, good. I would fully expected a 20. Point 11. See ya, Blaze. Sleep well. You feel that the forest is alive. It watches over you. It stalks you. You find yourself continually looking through the bushes, branches, and rocks. Sometimes it seems to you that there are shadows denser than they should be. Ooh, not all the noises come from the wind and the birds, do they? Roll 1d20 and add... Oh, same thing. If the dice rolls a 20... Oh, the forest finds you. Oh, no. Cinder Edge was about a creepy forest, too. What's with these solos adventures in creepy forests? Okay. If the sum exceeds 25. Alright. Boy, it was hovering on that 20. 9. Okay. Not go to point 12. Forest be creepy. Yeah, they are. And they're fun. Magical woods, you know, like the Lost Woods from multiple Zelda games. If you were resting this turn, mark a turn. I was not. It was afternoon. Or no, I was hunting. Okay, I get it. So I guess we're gonna be like bouncing back. That's kind of cool. Golly, I bet that was a headache to plan. Each hill you overcome and each cliff you leave behind reveals new corners of this vast forest. The snow-capped mountains always on the horizon test your resolve, making you feel as though you are not moving forward. Roll 1d20 to discover what you encounter. If you have already passed this way, repeat the roll or choose another number. Cool. D20 go! 17. What is a 17? Views. Go to point 35. Whee! Oops, I was looking at the page number. 35 views. What's something spooking my cat over here? After a long climb, you arrive at the top of a steep slope. The rocky ground prevents the trees from growing and provides you with a privileged view of the sky, the clouds, the great forest, and the distant mountains. You have been beneath the branches of the giant trees for quite a while, and perhaps you want to take advantage of this spot to enjoy a short break before returning to... When does my turn end? If you do, explain what ideas or memories pass through your mind as you gaze into the distance. If not, explain why. Oh, mark a turn on... Okay, well, that answers that question. Oh, I have a weird thing. What? Your weird mouse pointer over the game document? It should just be, I guess you can see it, yeah. It's my highlighter. Okay. Explain what ideas or memories pass through your mind as you gaze into the distance. If not, explain why you didn't want to stop for a moment. So I will stop and gaze and think about the time I was fighting a rival and he chopped off my toe, giving me my quirk. I was under the impression that lizards grew limbs back and my toe never came back, and it makes me question my entire existence. Mark a turn on your paper and begin the next one by going to points 7, 8, or 9, depending on what you wish to do. Okay. All right. I like this, like a little choose your own adventure kind of thing. So it's nighttime now. So, okay. I'm gonna have a little counter up here. So we did one turn, and now we're on turn 2. 7, 8, or 9. We gotta go back. Looking for I figure resting since it's night. Your legs ache and your back is numb. You need to regain your strength. Yeah, well, hang on. Does it say, like... resting once a day is necessary. Okay, so just at night. Alright. Your legs ache, your back is numb. You need to regain your strength. When you've been still for a few minutes, the cold begins to creep into your bones. Is it raining? Is it snowing? Is the wind blowing? I thought it was kind of peaceful where I was at. Ask the Oracle. If you rest during the day, good furs or a fire will be enough to keep your chattering teeth at bay. If you do it at night, which we are, you'll need both. If you lack them, you will be cold and must pass a saving throw. Oh no. With strengths, okay, so that's that. Now, I would actually be good at that because of my brawny archetype from TriCube. Fail during the next turns, you will make all your dice rolls with disadvantage. If you manage to rest well, without getting hungry or cold, you recover hit points dictated by your game. Before going to bed, you need to expel your musings. Tell the dog or your companions of the fire what you think of the day you just had. I lamented my missing toe with them. Tell it something about yourself. Something you miss. Something you are discovering on this journey. Okay, that's cool. I like that. So, if you rest during the day, you'll need furs or... Well, I have fire starter. I don't have furs. And I'm a cold guy, so I'll say I have to make the roll. But I am brawny, so I get 3, and we're trying to pass a 5. Huzzah. There's a 5. Okay. We did it. We did it, lads. Rains are messing with my internet. I might not be able to stay. Oh no! Not twice, Dad. Not the rains. The rain's down in Chile. Okay, go to point 10. Oh, that's right. We got to do this again. So we're on turn 2, but it's add 1 for each turn that has passed. So we're going to add 1 to this roll, and that would make it a 7. Okay. Point 11. Oh, that's right. And then we're gonna check to see if the forest is killing us yet. And it's the same values. Okay. Solo games suck. Dang it. Okay. So what happens if the dice rolls a 20? Go to 28. Dadgummit. I can't even win when I'm playing by myself. Forrest, get that square. He did, man. That Forrest just ate him up. We got a year's worth of rain in like 3 weeks. Guy's trying to drown us. Dang. He's trying to kill us with the humidity up here. And heat. If you have already been here, go to point 40. Okay, well, this is my first time here. Strange sounds reach you from the thicket. Laughter, whispers, a buzzing noise. Then an eerie silence. Then footsteps. What's there? Your blood. I need my stool. Hang on. We're gonna move this fan. I did not realize. I didn't think I used the stool that much. But apparently I do. Woo. I don't know if you heard that, but I just kicked the fan into overdrive. Remember what you chose in point 4. What did I choose in point 4? Whatever the host told you about this forest seems to be true. Okay, well, let's go back to point 4. Ooh, there's a forest forbidden by 4 generations by a blood pact with the dark people. Oh, gosh. What was that, 28? Whatever the host told you about this forest seems to be true. Before your eyes, you have proof of it. It is clearly not his supreme power, but a minor offshoot, a minion. One of his powers, a manifestation. If, for example, the forest were inhabited by the dark people, which it is, you might be looking at one of their apprentice sorceresses. If, on the other hand, if it's territory of the Goblin King Halffoot, you might be looking at one of his scouts. If it were a sacred forest, you might have encountered a White Wolf Guardian. It's up to you to decide what is in front of you. Explain what you see. If you think it is appropriate, ask the Oracle. So let's say, so this is the dark people. We'll just find a weird guy in a robe and like you can't see any of them. It's just all dark, right? And he's magically. If Scrat is the GM and the player, we're gonna watch him railroad himself. Kind of have to, man. Right? You do and don't at the same time. Ah! Either the GM's gonna railroad me or the player is. Hey, cat. What do you want? You want to be on stream? Alright. When you have a clear idea of what you see, decide what you do and play it. Do you hide? Make a saving throw with dexterity. Do you jump out and attack? Club in hand. Make your attack roll. Do you go out and try and convince the creature with some trickery? Explain what you say and roll with will or charisma. Play it. Narrate. So do we like full out fight? Resolve your actions and those are the characters. Invent what they say and do. Enjoy it. Make the story your own. And don't forget the dog. What does he do? If you're still alive, make a turn on your paper and begin the next one. Okay, so we're gonna fight this dude. We're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. It's Wizard Man. Ooh. There he is. The Wizard Man. He's bad. Bad guy. It's a clickable title, yeah. Can players railroad the GM? I mean, I started to get into it a little bit in the server earlier and decided against it, but that is why I made nuts, because I felt like, well, that's what made me mad at D&D, and then why I went and made nuts, and then I found other games that don't suck. But yeah, as the GM of D&D, I felt like I was constantly getting railroaded, so, like, I didn't feel like I got to play. I thought it was interesting that Ben brought that up. So anyway, we're gonna fight. You want to hear more? You want to hear more? More. Alright. So I'm Brownie. So let's say this guy, he's just a little guy. He's only got two acorn coins. Okay. Oh, I accidentally gave him one of mine. That's mine, good sir. Alright. So everything's 5, right? I'm Brownie. I'm just gonna try and hit him with of course, an axe. Because that's how I roll, even though I drew my dude with a little sword. Let's see. Let's go get him. Let's go get him. Huzzah! We chopped him. There's one down. So now he's gonna weird, curvy, twisty bolts of dark, cloudy magic just kind of slowly swim towards you. See if I can dodge. Do the same thing, pretty sure. Well, no. Actually, like dexterity, so I probably only get 2. Oh no. Doesn't matter. Got a 6. I'm safe. Alright. I'm gonna hit him back. Ooh, look at there. 2 5s. Bonk, bonk. It only counts as 1 though. Alright. He's dead. And he dissipates in a puff of black smoke. Or mist. Dust. Alright. I should have been the goofy little blob barbarian that's still in the Discord voice chat. Well, so now that we killed that guy, quick tangent here. Like, that whole bit about railroading the GM as a player, like, I think it kind of came up in one of my rants in a stream not too long ago about how there's so many videos of it out there about essentially how to do better as a GM, or whether it's tips or tricks or whatever, things to make D&D suck less. It still implies that the GM could be doing more, could be doing better. And part of that's because how clickbait works. But there's very few videos in comparison on how to be excuse me, I'm choking. How to be a better player. Like, I've seen like 1 or 2 videos out there about that, but nobody sits down and says, hey, you know, 80% or more of this community are players, not GMs. So here's how you can suck less. You know, here's how you can essentially be a better person. But that's not going to get the views, so that's probably why they don't do that. But, you know, it's a two-way street. Those videos are very much needed, but nobody's going to watch them is the problem. How dare you, sir? Yeah. I mean, that's all it boils down to, right? Running a game smoothly and whatnot. It's a lot of it's just being a decent person. So, but that's like my thing about D&D. Just, it gives you all the tools to not be a decent person. Like, it encourages it silently. So, anyway, back to the adventure. If you are still alive, we are. We didn't even take damage. Mark a turn on your paper. So that's the end of turn 2. Excuse me. And go. So that would have been morning. I'm sorry. I didn't mark that down. So night, we rested on day 2. Oh man, this is gonna be. Morning. I guess we just woke up and chose violence that morning. But that wouldn't have counted as, because the forest got us. What do I mark that as? I guess nothing. we just had to survive. So now we're on turn 3. Which is afternoon. Not to hype other YouTubers, but Seth Schwartzky has done some good player-facing videos. I've watched a couple of his. That might have been the one I was thinking of, too. Let's see. But I think like it might have been Bob the World Builder. I'm not kidding when I'm saying I've only seen a couple videos on it, and not in the sense I've only sat down and watched a couple. I mean, only a couple have come across my feed. So anyway, so we didn't get to do anything that morning. We just survived. The forest tried to kill me. So now we're gonna go search again. 10. Or no. Oh, go 2.7. Okay. So we're gonna look. And we're gonna make the throw. And we said that was a 2d6. But add +1 to the roll for each turn you have looked. Oh man, how's that gonna work? Like every 5 days we get another die? Actually, I think we can just skip that. We don't, because our numbers are so small. Subtract if, yeah, well, we're not doing a 9. The dog is with you, yeah. So we'll just say it's 5 on the 2d6. Doot doot. Dang it. Missed it by 1. Technically I could use a karma, but maybe. I don't know. If you pass the roll, if you don't, go to 10. Ah, we gotta do this again. How am I keeping up with like my food? Oh! 17. And we gotta add 2 to it. So it's 19. Alright, so we dodged that one. What about the forest? 9. Okay, we're good there. Okay. Point 12. Oh, we're gonna visit something new. Let's go to a new place. 3. The stream. 15. We're on the stream already. What's up, Cyros? You've lost count of the creeks you've crossed today. That's why you hardly notice this one when you jump over it. It's frozen, but water flows underneath. Before you land on the other bank, you catch a glimpse of a pale figure peering at you through the ice, gliding swiftly down the stream. With both feet firmly on the other shore, when you look again, she has vanished. You find only ice and water. Spoopy! Explain who this person was. Part of your past and no longer among the living. How does her sight affect you? Mark a turn on your paper and begin the next one by going to point 7, 8, or 9, depending on what you prefer to do. Ooh, so who is this person? A long-lost lover? Evil sister? Let's go with evil sister. That's more fun. Okay. It disturbs me. I have a long line of evil family members. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to 9 because I think that's rest. Yep. And we're at night now, so. Nighttime. We're gonna do us a rest. Okay. And I guess I got my bread and cheese. It's only been like a day, so. You managed. So last time, that's right. So we got, imagine, about the same amount of supplies. So let's do our, that's a brownie one. So I did the wrong colored dice. 5. So we survived the night. That means we're going to day 3. Do we wake up this morning and choose violence? Whoop. We managed to rest. Okay, we don't need to do that. Tell the dog of our musings. 10, and that's alright. See if we get jumped. We gotta add 3. We're on day 4. Oh man. Oh my gosh. Are they gonna get us? Or if the sum exceeds 25. Okay, so we're getting close. We're getting close. Now the forest. 19. Why am I rolling high on these ones? Okay, so that's the same thing. Okay, super close. Man, they both almost got us. Alright, point 12. And then we gotta roll up a location. What are we doing? 15. The waterfall, 32. You drag your feet to a pool beneath the waterfall to soothe your dry throat. Hidden behind the current of water, you make out a stone archway covered with moss and stone? Moss and algae. Nothing else around it catches your eye. Do you wade across the water? If you venture inside the mountain, well, yeah, we should venture inside of it. If you venture inside the mountain through the water, your curiosity reveals a small room carved into the rock. The temperature is strangely pleasant here, and if you wanted to rest in this place, you would need neither fire nor shelter. If there was ever any furniture or decoration, there is no trace of it. Only in the corner lies a skeleton wrapped in brand new armor. The clothes... Wait a minute, wasn't I supposed to be... Never mind. Only in the corner lies a skeleton wrapped in brand new armor. The clothing peeks out from underneath, are half dissolved by time, and the sword lying next to it is completely rusted. Shucks. But the armor, which could fit you, looks surprisingly new. Explain what it looks like, or ask the oracle questions. Some might be, is it white? Do I recognize it? Ooh. Mark a turn on your paper and begin. Okay, so let's say this is armor of the people that used to hunt lizard people. So like, I hate it, but I'm gonna wear it because I know it's good. I don't know what's gonna do for me though. Alright. So morning we did a look, right? We did a search, I think. Or no, we just... This is what confuses me. And I'm skipping the foraging thing. You need food. You get 1d4 days of food. Okay. We missed that. Don't wear random uniforms you wear in a cave. Hey man, what could go wrong? Whoa! Jewels. Look at that. Thanks, man. And a little star. Looks like he's from Mario. Okay. So we kind of missed the food, but like when we wake up... Okay, yeah, it's while you're resting you check to see. But then that just immediately has you going somewhere. So technically we're still in the morning turn. Right? Because... No, because that counted as a turn. So like, morning you just start looking. And then in the afternoon, you decide whether you want to forward. I'm sorry, in the morning you just go to a random location and that's your turn. And then in the afternoon, you decide whether or not you want to look for traces of dude. And then at night you rest. In the afternoon, it's either search for clues or search for food. And then night's rest. You can shuffle it up, but it seems like generally that's how you do it. Which is fine. So we didn't really... Yeah, there's nothing happens in the morning. That's what's confusing me. Because I didn't actually look. So now I'm in the afternoon. I'm actually going to do the search thing. Which is 7. And that's where we make the 2d6. We gotta get it one day. And there it is. Haha. Okay. If you pass the roll, your effort is rewarded. Go to point 34. A clue. If you have already been... Well, I haven't been here. You're trying harder than you have ever tried in your life. You're putting effort into your task here. Risking your life like this must make some sense. So many steps taken in this cold and dangerous forest deserve a reward, don't they? Is it time to give up and go to a safe place? Safe and warm. You have doubts. Every moment. It's normal. And then you see it. Or hear it. Or feel it. Or deduce it. Whatever you prefer. The point is that you find a clue. Finally! Explain what you discover. What makes you think you're on the right track? Do you see an object fallen from the lost one? A clear trace of him? How do you know it's his? Or do you hear someone or something talking about him? Does a forest creature inform you? Blah, 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 blah. If you want to decide, ask or... Okay. So instead of a lizard killing dude, let's say that was one of my lizard folks. Of like the elite squad or something. So I took his armor, but I could see the blast marks from the guy I know I cheated and ruined. So I'm like, oh man, he's been here and he wrecked this dude. If you play with Knave or other 6 ability games, add an extra +1 bonus to all looking for rolls. Okay, well that'll bring it down to... That'll just give us another d6. How about that? Make a turn on your paper and begin the next one by going 2 points. Now see, when it says a turn, that's like the date. I'm so confused. I'm doing this wrong. Because, like, is each one of these a turn? Is that how that works? Meaning we'd be at turn 8 or 9 right now? I thought a turn was a day. Oh well. Where was I? Mark a turn on your paper and begin the next one by going to 0.78. So back again. So we're going back to resting. We're gonna make our save. We passed. Though technically we could have slept in the cave. I know, man. I can't follow rules. That's why I like people to run games, so they just tell me what to do. I can't read and comprehend things. Okay. I am going to pass on the foraging thing. I appreciate it, but just for, like, time's sake here. Let's just assume I have food in my bag. So now it's night. We passed it to rest, so... So day 4... Morning, we don't get a turn, it just happens. We check to see if... Oh, except we are on turn... We have 4 previous turns. We're good on that one. What about the forest? So that's 21. Getting close. Alright. And then we roll up the location to see where we're at. The valley. 0.14. That's just right across the way. The true writing advice. After many ascents and descents, you are grateful for the light. This light plain. Faint mist swirls slowly among the brambles and trunks of the wide valley you are crossing. Among the mud and snow, you discern footprints of a barefoot person. Do you follow them or continue on your way? Well, Crab, you will be happy. The next video I'm going to do is about writing. Technically, it's about AI writing. And your writing. But writing nonetheless. If you continue to, let's say, I'll follow them. If you follow the tracks, you soon come across a dirty, eyeless old woman holding an arm. Oh boy. A wondrous and by all accounts magical weapon. She offers it to you if you give up a memory in exchange. Before you read on, explain what you choose to do. Do you accept? If you do, explain what you forget forever. Personalized alerts. Oh no. So we'll take the arm. And we will forget who chopped off my toe. Because that's something I would like to not remember. What power does this weapon possess? It's a fire sword. Fire axe. It's gotta be an axe. Well, we didn't attack her. Mark a turn. Oh, mark a turn on your paper and begin the next... Oh, next one. I thought that said next day. By going to... Okay. So now we're going to look. And I feel like we got enough to bump that up, so... Plus the dog, right? So... Doesn't matter. That was a terrible roll. So we got nothing. Point 10. Wait a minute, I thought when you woke up... When you wake up, you also do that? Go to point 10, yeah. Okay, alright. Now we gotta see if we're getting got. I just did this. We're good. We're good. Oh man. AI viewers. My own rival and chopped off my own toe. I ate my own toe. Oh. Toe fungus. Alright. So now we're gonna rest. Do we survive the night? Barely. We barely survived the night. Alright. And we don't get a morning turn. It's so weird. I feel like that's wrong. Yep. Okay. Do we got? Oh wait, this is a new day, so we got 5 to add to that. Ooh. Which is 20. Ooh. Okay, we're safe there, and then a location. 12. The fountain. You walk along animal trails, push aside bushes, hold on to logs, and climb rocks. You arrive, exhausted and thirsty, at the bottom of a cliff and hear water gushing from the wall. As you approach among tall grasses, you discover a small spring flanked by 2 old statues of forgotten gods. One of them reminds you of someone. Explain who and what this person represents to you. Decide whether to drink from the fountain before reading on. I kind of want to say yes, just because it's an adventure and you want to do weird things, but... Tell you what. Let's flip a coin. How do these coins work? What's on them? Is that a head? That's a tail? That's kind of hard to see. Alright, let's try it. Heads, we're drinking. I can't... Oh, it says in the corner. That's a tails. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess we're not drinking. Whether to drink from the fountain before reading on. Well, we don't. If you drink, such and such happens. When you turn to leave, you're surprised by a slight smile on the statue that you could have sworn it didn't have before. Mark a turn and begin the next one. No, that's what we did. That was the morning. Okay, so now we're gonna look, which means we need to roll a thing. We got another clue. We got another clue. Alright. I could see how worrying about your supplies would make this longer. Go to 34, and then I think we have to jump to another one. We've already been here. Go to 39. An evidence. The clue has made you search around, and now at last you have the evidence before you. You perceive the lost one directly with one of your senses, but you lose him after a brief moment. You think he is captured by the power of the forest. The forest is consuming him. He thought he could overpower the forest. Playing solo on stream seems tough. Well, following somebody else's solo adventure is tough. I feel like if you were... Well, actually, I don't feel... I know. If you're just rolling your own dice and making up your own adventure as you go, it's a lot more... But like, I'm playing somebody else's adventure and trying to learn the rules at the same time, so... It's probably not the best viewing experience, but here we are. Explain how... Because a lot of these are prompts, like, to get your creative juices flowing, which I appreciate. I don't know how big-headed it sounds of me to say, I don't need it, but... That's only true sometimes. Sometimes I need a creative prompt. Matter of fact, Ben, if you're still here, Shift in the back of it had some really good questions and prompts when making a new world. And I was going to do a review of Shift, and I had my script almost done. And I saw on the back page of the book, they tried to tell me what I could and couldn't do on my own social media content and making videos. And I was like, no, we're not. We're not doing that. No review for you. I was a little butthurt squirrel about it, so I didn't appreciate it. I thought that was very weird of them. Or not weird, just tacky. Tell me what I can and can't do on my channel. I mean... So here, let me show you. I'll just show you since we're here. Shift. Whoop. I want to make content for Shift. And there's a couple other things here. But then it's like, you can also live stream, podcast, create actual plays, make written or video reviews, and generally have fun with Game Online in public. As long as you credit Hit Point Press and include a link to our website. And then as long as you don't all these other things, you know. Basically trying to tell you to be a decent person, but just like credit this, credit that, blah, 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 blah. Don't claim this. Don't be racist and sexist. But like, this really should have said, if you want to live stream, blah, 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 we would appreciate it if you blah, 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 blah. And that's it. Not, hey, you can because we're allowing you, because... Not a lawyer, but as far as I know, legally, I'm allowed to do... If I want to review this whiteboard eraser, I'm free to do that. So, their game is no exception. So, if I want to get on there and say it sucks and I want to be a total racist about it while I'm doing it, I am allowed to do that. So, and if I don't want to put their website in the description, I don't have to do that. So, I don't know. I just didn't like it. The game was fun, but that just rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. And I admit, it's probably a non-issue. But I also saw this... Well, so, did you get it from DriveThru, or do they only sell it on their site? Because usually, like, PDFs have the character sheet in the back of their book, but I didn't see that in the PDF, and they're like, oh, there's a link for it here, and then in order to get it off the site, you have to give them your email address, and I was like, no, that's, we ain't playing that game. So. It's a shame, too, because it was a fun game, and it was a cool manual. I had nice things to say. Yeah, we violated all the licenses, Crab. You backed it on Kickstarter? Okay. I'm still surprised how many people had a hand in making it, too. I forgot what I was doing. We're at the evidence. Right. The forest is consuming dude. He's close. He's very close. From now on, if you play blah, 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 increase when you look. Okay, so we're already at 3, so we're going to drop the value down to 4. Okay. So now it's rest. Actually, you know what? You know what? Instead of spoiling the end, I think we'll leave it at that. Because I get the idea of how it works, and that was the goal, and I don't want to sit here and play through the whole thing. Oh yeah, it looks like we're right coming up on the end too on how to okay. So no spoilers. If you want to go check this out, you can. Alright. So that was cool. So now we can talk about D&D and railroading and everything else under the sun. That was pretty neat though. I liked it. I bet Glee would like that one too. I was surprised how much Glee liked the Cinder Edge, just the whole journaling thing. It was interesting. It still had like a little resource game you played, but it was its own self-contained adventure. Like it had its own system that you used. It wasn't like, hey, go grab your favorite system and play this. So very dark, depressing kind of thing. It was neat though. But anyway, so yeah, I was gonna make, so it's been like a month and a half since my last video. It's interesting, use your favorites. Yeah, I have a little experience playing solo stuff, but it's like, you know, like TriCube provides some tables to shake things up. Then I've just played on my own, making stuff up as we go with a D6 or something. But Cinder Edge and this is the only thing I've dabbled in that's like, hey, here is something for you to go play solo. But I guess that's the thing people do. But anyway, I was gonna say, it's been like a month and a half. I'm banning people, hang on. Since, why is Twitch so bad at everything? How do I get rid of this menu? Oh my gosh. Okay. Been about a month and a half since my last video. And I was like, well, I need to get something out. So let me try a review, because usually I can get those pretty good since I know what I have a direction. But I was like struggling. I was going to do scale mail, and I was kind of struggling with the script. For some reason, still not sure why. I don't know if it's because I've already had 2 interviews with the guy and like a test play. But I was working on that, and then I was like, well, I have a physical copy in the mail. I should probably wait till that gets here. So I was like, all right, well, I can knock out Streamline Superheroes. That's a game we just played recently, and it's pretty easy. And I was going through the script and, you know, was mostly done. And I started realizing it's like, these rules seem a little different. And I remember him saying something about version 2. So I was like, maybe this is it. But I was like, I could have swore we played version 2. So I reached out to John, you know, the guy who made it, and I was like, hey, you know, is this the most recent? And he's like, no, you played the most recent, but that PDF is not the most recent. So like, you know, if you're doing the review, wait till 2.0's out. It's like, dang it. So then I started working on Shift Review, and then I was almost done with it and found that page that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I was just like, I should have just started on the AI and writing script, but I was like, I wanted to get a review or 2 out. That way I could take longer on the AI script. But here we are. Just can't win, man. And this is all while trying to get a novel back to the editor. Man, I've been sinking over here. It's so bad. Scale mail and the snail mail. It sure is. I could see someone making some add-ons to it to supplement changes. Yep. Using the same format. But if you did that, Mustache, wouldn't you like making some add-ons? It would just kind of be like a whole different story, wouldn't it? Make your own adventure. I wonder how those choose your own adventure things and what we just looked at, how they plan that out. So it's just like a big flow chart. It's Glee. She's been in the chat. I figured she was ignoring me because she'd want to play the adventure later. So She didn't want no spurlers. No spurlers. So yeah. And then Blaze was like, hey, write a campaign for me. Not really. I mean, he's got some lurking in LinkedIn. Oh boy, what a combo. I've done a... Whenever Blaze wants me to do some writing for him, it's... He has 95% of it done already. Like, he's got all the plot points and, you know, descriptions, what things are and everything. I just have to go through and kind of clean it up, pretty it up, add in a little tweaks here and there, maybe some little plot twists and whatnot, and make more kind of like a dev edit almost. But also correcting some bad English along the way. Not that I'm very good at that. But anyway, I've done a couple one-shots for him, and it's been a fun little process. And he's got like a mini campaign, and he was wanting it done because he's about to run, I guess, an aggressive ad campaign, or just run an ad campaign for World Shapers coming up, and he wanted to have a playable mini campaign ready. And I was like, I can't get it done by September, so you're gonna have to. I was like, we can do it in waves and like have a note on there. It's like, hey, part 2 will be at this point. And he's like, well, I'll just get it all done, and then post ad campaign we can work on it. So I was like, okay. There's no way I'm gonna be able to get to it. I think that shift thing is pretty standard. I've seen other TTRPGs do. It has more to do with putting official logo for use and stuff in most cases. Also, that's stupidly legalized. Yeah. Like, I get that it's a non-issue. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't have an excuse. Because it, like, comes across as, like, hey, you are only allowed to do this because we say so. And, like, but you have to do this. And I was like, I ain't gotta do nothing. Well, I had it up on the chat earlier, or up on the screen. Crab. You can rewind. Or I could just pull it back up. They said you can also live stream podcasts, create actual plays, reviews, blah, 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 as long as you credit Hit Point Press and include a link to our website, which is so they can collect your email, and credit our artists and writers if you use excerpts of their work directly. So, like, I don't have to do any of that. And then as long as you don't, you know, copy our work, essentially, and be a racist about it at the same time, or claim what you're doing is official. Like, that part makes sense. Like, I get that. I mean, technically that's the last bullet point. Or do anything to bring the game into disrepute, for instance, making something illegal, racist, sexist, or otherwise discriminatory. Not that I would, but I feel like... So if you look at the magical land of Yeld, of what I insinuated it was, I didn't outright say it, but, like, you know, I'm allowed to do that. So yeah, it's mostly not a fear tactic, but just kind of a controlling thing. But I was telling Ben earlier, I guess you were away, I was like, this just would have been 100 times better if they said, hey, if you want to live stream blah 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 blah, we would love it if you credit Hit Point blah 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 blah. Please don't blah 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 blah. So yeah. Yeah, now they do have that right, like what you can and can't make, and that was the other page of it. Like, if you want to make content, like, do this, 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 and this. That's why I was like, you can also make live streams. It's like, I can do that with or without your permission, good sir. I don't know. I don't have an excuse as to why I got so butthurt about it, but it just made me not want to do it. In public. Ah! Who goes out in public? But it also kind of got me thinking too, because I had mentioned before, I was like, I'm surprised how many people made this. Like when I was flipping through the manual, I thought it was like either one of those things that was made by one person who just had a lot of talent and skill across various things like layout and stuff. Like if you look at Fern's work from Hex Studios, especially his most recent thing, like he's done it from top to bottom, minus the art. He got an artist to do stuff, but like it's very well put together. But you know, he made the game and then did all the layout. So I've seen that a couple times and I just kind of got used to it. But then when I saw the front page of Shift and it's like, oh, like 20 plus people worked on this thing, it's like, holy crap. I was surprised too, because usually I don't know where that magical line is, but when so many people work, it is other than TTRPGs too, but TTRPGs specifically in this case, there's this weird line when so many people work on a project, it loses its vision, for lack of better words, and it becomes kind of sanitized and safe and generic looking. Daggerheart being the most egregious example. Like what, 100 plus people worked on that, and it's just the most boring looking thing. I mean, the game may be fun, I'm not talking about the mechanics, but like visually, it's just the most boring, corporate-y, safe looking thing I've ever seen. But anyway, that's why I was surprised. More than 2 people worked on it, because it had a very consistent look through the whole thing, and it was kind of unique and interesting. But oh well. But I was gonna say, that kind of got me thinking too, because it's like, well, I should probably focus more on individuals, like the guy who made Scale Mail, or the guy who made Streamlined Superheroes. Like, Shift don't need my help, you know? Technically, Outgun didn't need my help, but even then, Outgun's like, what, 4 people working at 2 Little Mice? Let's see. How many people did this? Authors, Ricardo and Simone. Art by Daniela. Graphic design. Okay, so you have the 2 authors, and I believe these 2 authors and the artist Daniela are like the 3 people that run 2 Little Mice, or whatever they're called. So then you had a graphic designer, a layout designer, translation, and revisions. So oh yeah, 2 layouters. So like, you can say like everybody kind of had their spot instead of like 10 layout designers and 5 artists and all this other stuff. So that's what I would call a small team. Nuts needs at least a dozen. It needs 12 people working on it because it's a D12 system. So we have, let me zoom in. You got your writer, that's me. This is some good writing. So that's 1. Sometimes the layout and such aren't on the team, but our contract, yeah. Yeah. So what we need a layout person. Layout, that's 2. What do we need? Editor. That's 1. That's 3. Artist. That's 4. I don't know how I'm gonna get 12 people. Oh no, wait. Marketing. You have marketing. Social media management, and then a community manager. It's 2 different things. An unfun video to make. It's popular in indie video games, but 4 devs will make one game without communicating. Yep. It's correct. The annoying needler person to annoy Scrat. Oh no. Legal. There you go. So what are we up to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need 4 more. I mean, we could have 2 editors. We could have 2 artists. Playtester? Nah, no, you don't pay those guys. All your testers are free. Moral support deserves credit. Yeah, they get credit, but not money. We should have... There should be 2 artists. Your character art and then, like, other stuff. Kickstarter manager? I thought about it. Pledge manager. There we go. Pledge M. PR. Well, we got a social media manager and community manager, so. But human resources, there we go. Because I have a team. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We need 2 more. Producers. Oh, you right. And an art director. God. How could I forget? There's one in the chat. Art director. Art D. Nuts. Hell. PR is for me. Probably need it. Alright, I think that's it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. How'd I end up with 13? I guess I forgot to count myself last time. Well, now we got a team of 13. Right? Did I do that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 me. Yep, alright, we gotta fire an artist. Had to let him go. So there is a game. It will remain nameless. But like when I started my YouTube channel, I came across this game for you. Like he reached out and was trying to network and stuff. And what was that, 3 years ago at this point? And like, I still don't know if it's been delivered. Like it had a Kickstarter and everything. But like, it was a rules light game. Like a 40, 50 page manual, maybe, you know, very small, kind of easy D6, but like smaller than easy D6. It was a neat system, like not dogging that. I'm just saying it was a small one. Not a whole lot to kickstart, not a whole lot to do, I don't feel like. Not like this multi-year thing he made it out to be, but after the Kickstarter got its money and funded and, you know, he kind of disappeared and the posts were few and far between. One of the posts, when I went back to check on it, see if anything ever came back or came up about it, hired a community manager, and I was like, what community? You don't like have one. Like, why do you even need a community manager? Hired a community manager. So he was very much trying to make it, the whole thing seem bigger than what it really was. He was definitely a salesman. Just maybe not a very good one. Proper business management, firing the only person doing work first and keeping... Yeah! I can't fire the CEOs and the VPs. That makes leadership look incompetent. I gotta blame the workers. It's like, look at that guy doing all the work. Fire him. Like, that is a thing, man. That's what's crazy. Like, if you show up and do your work, if you're a good employee, you don't get promoted. Because management's like, if we promote him, less work gets done. So we have to keep him right there. So you have to do this weird thing of not producing a lot, but also being reliable enough to catch eyes for promotion, but also being dumb enough to be expendable to get your head on the chopping block. That is the next position up above you. So it's a weird game out there. Weird game. And like, that's not just me making stuff up either. I have sat in the manager's office, in the leadership round table, and they will say that because I vouched for a guy. It's like, what about this guy? He's like super reliable and he's been here for years and he'll do everything you tell him. And they're like, yeah, that's why we can't promote him. I was like, are you serious? That's the exact reason you promote him. Or at least give him a hefty raise. You know, you can keep him doing the same work, but give him more money. No, we can't do that. Because we can't give him a raise unless we promote him, and we can't promote him because we need him to do the work. It's like, do y'all hear yourselves? Team Nets. Clown. It really is, man. It's just dumb. Just dumb. And every time Glee has troubles in the business world, I'm just like, man, that's terrible, I say with a smile on my face. Because I don't have to deal with it no more. I just sit around and make no money. Different kind of clown. Let's see. It is crazy out there, though. So, let's see. Lady Crab quit her job last week without a backup, so we're going through the job search. Woo! Bold. Bold. They asked her about a 1 week gap. Oh my gosh. Wow. Why weren't you working for 1 week? So when I did work, I was in an unfortunate / fortunate position. Some of you know this, some of you don't. So I used to be the CAD guy in manufacturing. A lot of design work, engineering, stuff like that. But I won't say never, but very rarely was I a full-time employee. I was usually on a contract. And my parents used to give me all kinds of grief about this because they were still living in 1960. They're like, you want full-time? And I used to think that. I used to think full-time was better until a couple jobs I went through. I realized when you go to a recruiter and they're like, yep, they got a contract for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months, whatever. The bean counter at that operation has essentially paid you in full already. Now, obviously, you don't get it all up front, right? You get your weekly paycheck or your bi-weekly paycheck. But when the manager gets approval to hire somebody, it's like, yeah, I need a contractor for 8 months. That 8 months payment, salary, whatever, that contract is accounted for. So they will keep you around for the duration of your contract. Even if you're not that great. They're like, well, we've already paid for him. Like, you have to be really bad to get fired. Because they're like, no, it's already accounted for. Let's just get what we can out of him. So when somebody came up to me like, hey, I got a 6-month, 8-month, 12-month contract, I knew exactly how long I had a job. And it only took a couple jobs for the contractor or the recruiters to learn that I was reliable. So within a couple jobs, when I'm at the last couple months of a contract, they'll call me up and say, hey, you ready for the next one? And I'm like, yeah, man. It's like, I'm ready to get out of here. Because I usually get bored after 6 months anyway. So it kind of worked for me. Now, the insurance wasn't great because we were going through the recruiter, and recruiters are meant to be temporary. But because of the way the world works, it's temporary for the place of employment, but it's permanent for you because you're permanently working with the recruiter and job hopping. So that's how I accrued a lot of experience in what I did and got very, very good at it. And I was just telling Glee the other day, like, I miss being competent at something because I was very good at what I did, and I don't do it anymore. because I hated all the people I worked for the reasons we were just talking about. Like, it's very nonsensical out there. But, and the drive, like, it's just, it wasn't sustainable long term. It was going nowhere. But, yeah, so during that, like, okay, I know how long I'm going to be here exactly versus the full-time employees. They had no idea if they were going to be there tomorrow or after lunch. Like, more than once did I witness people showing up for work only to find out they couldn't get through the front gate because they had been laid off. Like, the security guard was like, no, you don't work here anymore. You gotta go home. And like, these are degreed engineers this is happening to. Supposedly your high dollar white collar workers just getting axed left and right. Entire departments. So it's a wacky world out there. So my parents were saying, you know, used to, and then they learned, but like they were like, no, full-time is more secure. And I learned very quickly that contract work was way more secure because full-timers just had no idea when their time was up. And I got away too with I had one guy look at my resume, and he was not a very intelligent individual. One guy look at my resume and be like, man, you got a lot of jobs on here, you know, why can't you stay in one place? And I was like, it's all contract work. Like, you are hiring a contractor right now. I didn't get that job because I didn't want it. I told him thanks, but no thanks. So. Entry-level grunt works. Hey, man, you can have a good resume for that. I did. Back in the day. Why does my chat keep flipping over to the other thing? My only real job was an operations manager at FedEx. Tons of ex-military guys. Super toxic and deceptive management strategies. Still have nightmares 10 years later. Man. I still have nightmares about having to go back to work at Lowe's or McDonald's or something. It's a standard online form. Yeah. Yeah, I've had a few dreams because I worked at McDonald's in high school, and I've had a few dreams or nightmares where it's like things just got so bad I was back at McDonald's and couldn't even do it anymore. I was just too incompetent to work a McDonald's grill. It's terrible. Can't make the burger fast enough. But like, I super do not miss the industry, the field I was in. Like, it was, the software I used was super cool, and it was really cool to be able to do that. And to be as good as I was at it, to do what they call parametric solid modeling and actually do it properly and have all this stuff that manufacturing could use and make things, and just like streamline manufacturing. Like, that was fun, making things super efficient. But like, man, I just hated the people I worked for, because like my job was making somebody else richer, and I was like, where's my cut? I ain't getting nothing. So only remotely marketable skills is like, I know coding, but I'd rather be homeless than go near that. Yeah, well, yes. You might be homeless if you try and get in that industry. It's bad. But what I was going to say before I went on my ex-profession tangent, if Mustache is still on the chat, he just reached out because me and him had talked a while back about, well, a couple months ago, about doing some shots mini campaigns, and he brought that up today. So still here. Yeah, he's gonna, I think, run a little mini campaign in Open Legend D6. We got there. Excuse me. So that might be coming. I don't know. And I got one. Excuse me. I want to run in Nuts, most likely. But I can't be doing any campaign work myself, like running it, until I get this book off my table. So I got to get that thing back. But that would be it. That's something we want to do, because, you know, we do a lot of just goofy one-shots, right? So we'd like to, or I'd like to at least, try some that are a little more extended, but not like this 2-year thing like my first couple campaigns were. It's like, no, let's just a little mini series, you know, that somebody could binge over the weekend or something, or throughout the week, you know, just like a 3 to 10 episode kind of thing. Some Squirrel Barbarian something shots going on. Yeah. Well, I have like, and I made this, I think before I knew Peter, or really knew what his game was about, at least. As a Weird West kind of a horror thing where everybody does play as squirrels. I had that campaign semi-planned because it was going to be with Avenue Studios. It was going to be Glee, Kristen, and some other lady. It was like, it was going to be an all-ladies group. I think there was 4 of them. I can't even remember who the 4th one was. Kristen, which was Dan's wife, Glee, and then that one friend they had. But who was the 4th? Maybe Dan was bringing in 2 friends. Or no, was it Michelle that was going to be in it? That might have been it. I don't know. Anyway, that all kind of fell through. So, was it Michelle? Okay. I couldn't remember if she's going to be in it or not. Then with some shots, you can see the more mechanics for some of the systems. Right. So like, I will need to do one with Moss and Stone, because Moss and Stone was kind of leaning towards longer term play anyway, so it has some traveling mechanics and stuff and resources. Well, it's the one gal they know that can sing. Of course, Kristen can sing too. I just remember her singing a lot in one of their campaign things. I think it's, if I just say dude's wife, that doesn't narrow it down, but the dude that's on their show a lot, he was the one that played as me. What was it? He was playing as a squirrel with a saxophone, and his healing spell was sexual healing. It was great. It was like, he knocked it out of the park. It was so funny, and it was funny to watch, but it was also weird for me because like he's playing as me. Opera, yeah, that one. Yeah, but Michelle was also going to be in it, I believe. But yeah, Katie's the other one. Yeah, that was a funny watch. They were playing DC-20, I think. And he brought a little toy saxophone and everything, but he had some tunes on his phone ready to play, so he just pretended he was playing it. He's like swinging through the trees playing his saxophone. Oh man, it was quite the trip. They're a good group of role players over there. They really get into their characters. So that's the kind of group that's very easy to DM for and plan for, because you're like 5 minutes before it's time, it's like, I gotta think of something for them to do. Like, I can just throw one problem at them and they'll role play for the next 2 or 3 hours. I'm like, all right, show's over. We're good. I need to get them on some more. Hard to find, like, you can't get Dan and Kristen both usually, because like somebody usually has to stay with the kids, so while the other does YouTube stuff. I did get them both for that Fallout game, and that was super fun. But anyway, that's something coming, hopefully, that we can do. Hopefully. Whoops. Look at my little lizard man. But yeah, other than that, like I said, one of these days I'll get a video done. It's gonna be 2 months in between videos, because I'm pretty sure Blaze is wanting to do, he wanted to run a promotion on one of those videos. At the rate I'm going, it might as well be this one by the time it gets out, which is super sad. But I also wanted to do one with Fern, because he's got that new game he's working on, I don't remember what it's called. It's orange. I remember that. See if I can find it. Yeah, and he got like, he went kind of viral with his trailer. Like, it got a ton of traffic. So he's doing good. He's doing good. Biophage. It looks cool. It looks super cool. I wanted him to run a game of it. The times just... Matter of fact, let me make sure like he hadn't run the Kickstarter and everything else. I don't think it's live. We don't stay in touch as much as we used to. Back when he was doing Hellborn. Let's see. He's a busy boy these days. Finding much success. Okay, it hadn't even launched yet, so. Rules Light Symbiotic Horror TTRPG. Had a few potential epiphany for D6. Might throw those thoughts at you. Ooh, let me get some rest after the fight this weekend. See what you think. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. I know I want to be the same character I was at the con that just sits back and yells at people to motivate them and buff them. I can do that and manage the stream at the same time. Heroes of Cerulean and Mothership. So one-shots are obviously easier to schedule. And if I'm not having to run the one-shot, like if I'm not GMing it and having to plan anything, like I'm pretty readily available. Like I can hop in, we can find a day, I can hop in and stream it. And if we're not even streaming it, then it's even easier. Like, so. And I also, what was the last thing? I ran something just recently. Oh yeah, it was Moss and Stone. Here's Cerulean. I was hoping to do a 3 to 4 shot. Ooh. Ooh, big dungeon. A pipe prop. There you go. Blow bubbles. Blah, 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 blah. But I was gonna say, like, so I was GMing that last session. I don't like running a game and managing a stream at the same time. I feel like it divides my attention too much. Now, if I am playing in a game, I'm fine with running a stream, because then I can like kind of interact with chat silently. You know, I can chat with chat while the game's going, so it's not so one-sided. But sometimes I like. There's playing a TTRPG, and then there's playing a TTRPG on a stream. And I know they're very similar, but it's still different enough. And part of the Moss and Stone project was like, oh, it'll be fun to have like this giant playlist just showing the process of this game being developed, even the play tests. But like, I'm so close to like not wanting to do any of the play tests on stream because I'm having to put focus attention on managing and running the stream. You know, like when OBS decides to start dropping frames or whatever, or the internet decides to hiccup, or bots come in, that kind of thing. And it's just, and you also have to, you know, put on a performance and a show instead of actually testing your game. Is it worse as just a video? No, that would be a lot better because there's no chat to keep up with. And if you have an internet issue, you need to stop for whatever reason, you just cut that part out of the video. So, really show it more. Yeah, I agree, Mustache. But like the idea was to show all the steps for somebody. So if they're like, what does this look like? What am I getting into? They can see all that. But there's a lot of boring stuff you want to do offline too, so. Well, see, and this is where YouTube becomes kind of a pain in the butt, Crab. If I make a video and post it, So instead of the stream that counts as posting a video, it's going to go out to everybody, including all the people that have no interest in that, and then that kills your metrics or whatever, and your recommendations and stuff like that. So versus a live stream, my live stream viewers are the only ones watching the live streams. So I've told y'all my TV station and channel theory before. I really wish YouTube would do that. I feel like that would be a massive improvement. Right, I'm a real YouTuber. Yeah, you know, there's some things I have to consider and worry about, or take into consideration. So, but yeah, I'd like, we need to do a Moss and Stone some shot, a Nuts some shot, Open Legend D6, and apparently a Heroes of Cerulean. Can't you do it pre-recorded as a live stream, a trap where you can comment, just don't get live? You can do a premiere of a video, which has the chat, if that's what you're thinking of. I don't think you can upload a... But we can look real quick. Let's see. Let me go to my dashboard. Vidges, socials, dashboard. Excuse me. Premieres are a good option, but that still counts as a video going out, and like a small percentage of my viewers are watching all the Moss and Stone stuff. So that if I roll that out, and you know, let's say 10% of my viewers watch Moss and Stone, 90% are not clicking that video, which hurts the channel as a whole. So kind of, sort of. Not like people make it out to be, but this is the YouTube problem, though. You get so pigeonholed into something and you can't really spread out. That's why people make other channels. So, what was I looking? Create a go live. Schedule. Streaming software, category, playlist. Yeah, I don't think you can. Don't think you can do like a pre-recorded stream and load it up as one, unfortunately. So, I'm not seeing anything. Play the video to the light. Could do that. I feel like there was something you could do. Maybe there's an option when you upload a video, and you can like, hey, do this as a live, pre-recorded live stream or something. Yeah, Twitch, you can do that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's an option over there. Yeah, YouTube just needs a way for channels to divvy up content, and then people be able to subscribe or whatever to just the stuff they're interested in. They're like, I'm just here for the Easy D6 stuff. I don't care about his writing videos or other TTRPG reviews, so... Or they can be like, I'm here for the writing videos. I don't want anything to do with live streams, you know, whatever. So I feel like that would be relatively easy to implement. And it would also be helpful to the content creators too, because they'd be able to get that data like, oh, 90% of my people aren't watching this one thing I was putting a lot of work into. Let me not put so much work into that. But then how would we parasocial? You still would. You still would. You'd pick what you'd want to be parasocial with. And then be even more parasocial, I guess. But anyway, let's see. Where's my artboard at? So we got heroes. Let's do this. Some shots. Heroes of Cerulean. Is that how you spell it? I forgot how you spell it. Anyway. Open legend D6. Nets. Gotta put the exclamation point on. Cerulean. I did it right. Woohoo! We also, did I say we need to play Mothership? Apparently I might be playing Fabula Ultima. So. You did. Okay. Well, yeah. And we're only going to do one of these at a time, too, so. Not like I'm going to be running 2 or 3 campaigns a week or something. Or attending and streaming. So. Oh, wait, you know what else is missing? Duh. Boston Stone. So that's plenty right there. And I feel like kind of shoot for 3 sessions, but let it expand where it goes, so it could probably go to 6 or more. You know? Like, just shoot for a few sessions, but don't rush people, so if that way it... feel like that's a good target. Because normally it's like, yeah, shoot for 2 to 2.5 hours, but at 2 hours we need to start, like, trying to get done, you know, start cutting out content and things you had planned and let's get to the end, versus, nah, we'll shoot for about 3 sessions, you know, and then if it takes longer, it takes longer, so. Yeah. It'd be fun. So Ben, whenever you wanna... I like being able to say that. Ben. Because that's what people used to do to me. Now I get to do it. Whenever you're ready, just say the word for her Heroes of Cerulean. I don't know how much planning you do on a campaign, but... Cerules. Good idea. Let's see. I can show that PDF on stream. It's free. I gotta go find it though. Official material. I always overly prep, but I've already got it. Okay. Yeah, I over prep too, but like for one shots versus the campaign I did. Y'all know the story. I kind of got thrust into a campaign, so I didn't have time to overly prep. I was just making it as we went. So when I did the second campaign, I was like, planned out a little bit and was like, well, I'm already used to doing it as we go. So I'll figure it out along the way. But I did try to prep a lot more in that one. But now having done that, and then all the one-shots, I'm like, honestly don't know how I'd begin prepping for a campaign. Let's see, player booklet, is that what I'm looking for? Or no, here's just the regular manual. Oh, why is it like... There we go. Don't understand people playing a campaign past a few seconds. That's the thing, like, I will have... When I start overly planning, it's like character motivation and inner workings of factions and relationships and stuff, and like, oh, all this complex stuff going on, right? The player can just go to the left instead of the right, and you're like, nah, you don't get to explore any of that. So But I do know not to plan on them making certain decisions, despite what I just said. Like, oh no, like the player needs to say yes to this, so this happens and then that happens, and then they'll say no to this, or you know, like that. It's just like, no, I'll... Like the first campaign we did, I had this super cool character all planned out. I thought it was going to be so awesome. And the players hated him after 2 seconds of meeting him, so they did. I didn't get to do any of the cool stuff I wanted to. Dang it. Ah. I was looking to see what we can play as in this. Choose kin. Here we go. We can be an elf, an avian, which is a bird-like dude, a Geon, rock-like humanoid, hailing from the, I guess that's this guy. Aquarian. It's obviously the fish guy. A seedling. Tree-like humanoid. Oh, maybe that's the rock one, and that's the seedling. He looks pretty rockish. And he's got green hair, so he's the seedling. So I could be the big rock guy. Barbarian. Or I could be a fish barbarian. I kind of like the seedling, though. I feel like I need to play more druids, because it's a little more close to real life. One-shots feel like more prep because you gotta figure out how to make it fit. Yeah. Bet Izzer knows some dip fish. I'll bet so too. I definitely over prep my one-shots because, like, a lot of times it just needs to be a silly dungeon, but I'm like, I gotta make it interesting and blah 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 blah. It's like, man, players are gonna have fun just rolling dice generally. If you actually let them roll dice. Yeah. Been in some games where we really didn't do much of that. It's just like, why are we here? What are we doing with ourselves? I have yet to be in a game that was just so bad I had to walk away. I've been close. I have been real close. You had another few hours of stuff prep? I had a feeling, because, like, we didn't explore much of the ship. It's hard, though, because, like, you can make a map. It's like, okay, there's just, like, 4 rooms. Like, they're going to get through this in 5 minutes. And 2 hours later, you're like, oh. You're such a fun looking thing. Manual. Gerblins. Slimes. Concluded that pacing is up to the players. You're not wrong. Well, that's what I was saying, like the Avenue Studios crew, they're really big into role-playing, so like that can eat up a lot of time when they're characters, you know, bickering with each other and cracking jokes and doing weird things. So it's like, versus if you just like, yeah, just roll dice, you know, played it like a video game, you'd probably get through it a lot quicker. How did the solo play go? Well, I got like right up to the end and then I didn't want to spoil it because we got the main idea of how things were going and how it worked, so I didn't want to reveal everything, but it was pretty good. I like it. It was a fun little adventure module, I guess we'll call it. It was pretty interesting. Guess I could do a review for it now. centaur. A centaur. A turtle. Classic Zelda map. But yeah. Good old 2-hour one-shots. Because like the Moss and Stone thing, it took us like 2.5 hours, and I thought for sure that was kind of alternate path mazy a little bit, but like they could have just beelined it right to the end and been done in like 30 minutes. So, but you know, they like wandered off this way, then this way, which is good. Like that's kind of what the map was supposed to do. Lots of weird twisty turns in the mysterious twice dead swamp. Oh man, I should go write a book. I don't want to. It's so much work. You think typing would be easy, right? Just tick, 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 tick. But then you look at all those words on the document and you're just like, I don't want to. An author that actually writes. See, I want to be the one that doesn't but still gets paid. You know, it's kind of like how it was when I was in the field, right? When I was doing my engineering thing. Like, the more work I did, the less I got paid. But as I started getting paid more, I started having to do less and less work. So, like, now I'm back at square one with writing, and I'm having to do a crap ton of writing and get paid nothing. So I want to get it back up this way. It's like where I barely write anything, but I'm just making a ton of money. Gotta build up a big block of words so you can carve the story out of it. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, we're past that part. Crab. We've got all the words. You know, just throwing it on the page is the easy part. Now we're trying to make it make sense. Everything has to line up and be right. So it's just like, ugh. Then the next step is just making it sound good, and that's a lot easier. Having to make everything work is the... On topic of runtime not being what you expect, I was pleasantly surprised how quickly my last playtest session was. I expected to take longer than anticipated, but it ran shorter. 2026, baby, we ain't gotta do that. You don't have to make sense. You write like Disney. Who gives a toot about consistency? I think it was the right, air quotes, the writer or writers of the Marvels that legitimately said, who cares about consistency? And I was just like, oh, my soul. Who cares about consistency? Like, in the context of being consistent within your own story, not across the entire MCU. Just your movie, your story, your world building. Ugh. Can't read. Reading is for idiots who can't understand pictures. Cyros, how long was your playtest? Some people say short, and it's like 4 hours. It's like, oh no. I got a game of Outgunned this weekend to go to, and I'm still on the fence because it's 3 hours. It's scheduled for 3 hours, and I was like, is that the minimum, or is that like the hard cutoff? And somebody was like, well, I have something like right at the cutoff, so we need to be done. I was like, okay, good. I can handle that. Just barely, though. It's weird because I can GM longer. I guess because I'm constantly having to do stuff and engaged, and I know what's coming. That's why my game's like I'll shoot for 2 hours and it'll be 2.5 hours before I know it. I'm like, oh, I need to wrap up, but I don't want to. Versus when I'm a player, after we hit that 2-hour mark, I'm just like, can we start, wrapping this up? It's weird. I hadn't thought about that till just now, about how it's easier to go longer as a GM. It's interesting. My brain's weird. And you would say like, okay, your brain just needs to be engaged, but it's like, well, as a player, I'm engaged. I feel like, I'm in there, I'm rolling dice. Even if it's like a fast-paced game, but after 2.5 hours, I'm like, man. Find a marathon group. What's a marathon group? They play for like 8 hours straight. Plan for 3. Thinking I'd have to guide the players through everything for a 2-hour adventure. We finished in under 2.5 hours. Nice. 6.5 hours. I just don't see how that's any fun, Crabsoft. I mean, if it works for you, that's great, but I don't want to do anything for 6 hours. Like, I don't want to play a video game for that long. I don't want to watch a movie for that long. I don't want to watch YouTube for that long. I don't want to drive that long. I have, but like, I just don't want to do anything for that long. Gotta shake it up, man. That's the thing, like, I don't think I'd want to play a TTRPG for 2 to 3 hours and then break for a while and then come back later that evening and do it again. It's like, nope, I did that for the day. I'm done. Just realized there's a dead cat on my floor. I've done 8 hours in person, but we did lunch and dinner, so not 8 hours, but like, yeah. And I've wondered, like, these people be like, oh yeah, when we have our D&D session, it's all day. It's like, I wonder, it's like, how much of it's actually D&D and how much of it's like, you play for a little bit, go play a game, a different game, like video game, watch a movie, break and cook and eat and stuff. Like, how much of it's actually playing. A lot of people start losing focus after about 2.5 hours from like, yep, like that's 2.5 hours is definitely, we need to wrap up in the next few minutes, kind of what I have experienced in all my streaming and playing is, yeah, shoot for 2 hours and then it can drift a little after 2, but you need to start trying to wrap it up, and by 2.5 you really need to start wrapping it up. I haven't done it since high school, so my attention span is probably shorter. That included last minute work on finishing a character. Very nice. Very nice. Like shoot for 2 hours, but yeah. That's what I have found to be the... Glee, if you're still here, when we were doing our campaign, was our original goal 2.5 hours, or did we normally shoot, or was it 2? Or did we shoot for 3 hours, like a 3-hour meetup? I think I might have said 2 when we started, because like I didn't even want to try 3. And then I was like, if we can go to 2, yeah. I think it was 2, and I was like, if we need to go to 2.5, we can. Like if we're in the middle of something. Yeah, definitely. I think Zark might have been the one that's like, well, they generally last around 3. And I was like, well, let's do 2. Because time is precious and I don't have a lot of it. So. I think that's what it was, 2 hours, and then he said 3 to 4. Whew. Yeah. And you know, back then I was like, man, I didn't do that for so long, and why? But now that I know what D&D involves, it's like, oh yeah, now I know why those sessions are so much longer, because it takes forever to do anything. So you got to play longer to feel like you actually accomplished something. Oh yeah, that's what I was just saying. crab. It gets very slow. And maybe that's why, as a player, I start fading way sooner than as the GM, because there's, no matter how fast the game is, I'm accumulating time of not doing anything. Even if it's just a couple minutes, you know, a couple minutes each round, I'm not doing anything because I'm waiting my turn. Like, that just adds up. And it's like, I'm getting bored. And that's why I like GMing nuts. Like, I really like running nuts. Because I don't roll anything. I'm just constantly telling players what to do. Like, every time they do something, I'm a part of it. So I am constantly getting to play and engage. So I can run a much longer session of nuts than I could play it. Once my players picked up on the mechanics, the visible TNs actually sped up play because they could quickly repeat actions in combat instead of recalculating. Hey, look at you. Speedy boy. When a single combat in D&D takes 3 hours, you need time to actually play the... Yeah. Doctors have a word for that. ADHD. Attention deficit. There's birds out there. I'd turn on my nature cam, but Glee stole it. There's no more nature cam. It's all gone. It's a tragedy. I do, going back to the 3 hours of combat, that was a fun video I did a while back. No, Glee took the camera. She didn't kill the birds. There was a video I did comparing how long this combat encounter of fighting a bunch of goblins in a bar took in D&D versus EZD6, and I measured. It just so happened that session of D&D was recorded, so I could go back and look at it. And then I did a test run in EZD6 trying to replicate it. So, like, I counted, you know, I could see how long it took, and then I counted all the actions and all the rolls that took and everything, and laid that all out. That was, I won't say it was fun to do, but it was really fun and interesting to see the results. Because I remember EZD6 had way more rolls than I thought it would, but they just went by so fast. Like, I remember I was like, oh yeah, it's probably like 30 or 40 rolls for EZD6. And I was like, no, it was like 66 rolls or something. It's like, holy crap. See if I can go back and find that. I'm always wishing we as a community did more. Buy your new cam. I'll buy me a new cam. I think it was the I made a mistake one. I sound so dumb in my older videos. Let's see. Oh god, it was right there and it went away. So, 5 players versus 10 goblins. This is when I had that other font too. Let's see. I know it's not visible. I had it open in a whole other window. So that's what I had in D&D. Scrap, what do you mean? Did I miss something? Something I'm always wishing we as a community did more? Was it comparing? Or killing nature? Oh no. But anyway, so in this fight, the Goblin Bar Brawl, in D&D 5e, it was 5 players versus 10 goblins. 44 minutes, 10 seconds, 44 actions taken, which I thought was kind of neat. 1 action a minute. There's no dice! Yeah! That would be interesting to measure. Direct comparisons of time between two games. Like, imagine if we had a standard adventure. Yeah, and that's what I kind of thought about doing. It's like, oh, I could make an adventure that's like, let's see how long it takes, you know, each system to get through. But then I realized, like, there wouldn't be a fair comparison because different systems do different things, right? They focus on different things. Like, some really focus on combat and it gets super tactical and crunchy. And I mean, I guess you could have, like, here's the social interaction of the dungeon, here's the combat part of the dungeon, here's the puzzle part. You know, you could do that. Just have a gauntlet you go through. They're all 5EX. Yeah, sorry. There would definitely be something to check. It just might be an awkward comparison. So an easy D6. Oops, that's the wrong button. It was... Yeah, they started off with 9 goblins, which looks like a G. It's so weird. And then 2 came in later, and then they had to fight a piano that came to life. And it was 2 players, 1 animal companion, so like 2.5. It only took them 15 and almost and a half minutes. And they had about, 19 more actions taken the D&D. So, like, you look at this, and you're like, oh, an action a minute. Like, that's not too bad, right? Every minute, something's happening. That stacks up super fast when you think about it. You're like, oh, a minute? Like, because an armor save is an action. Attack is an action. Casting a spell is an action. It's like, oh, man, like, some of the simplest things take you a whole minute to do. And that's just assuming it was, you know, an action a minute. Obviously, some took longer and some took shorter, but, you know, even if you look at it that way. But no, easy D6, 63 actions in 15 minutes. Like, that's just roll. That was just with 2 players, so, and an animal companion. So technically 3. Maybe. Depends on how we ran it. I think we ran it where the animal got all its own actions, because we just wanted more players on the board. I actually think less of raw time and more friction to translate and concept. Well, yeah, and that's where... I don't remember if I talk about it in the video or not, but I think that was part of the point I was trying to make, was D&D, you lose so much time because everybody always has to look at their spell description, and, like, nobody's doing that while they're waiting for the turn, but even if they do, when their turn comes around, there's usually a clarification, like, can I do this? Can I, like, how does... I don't understand. What does Thunder Wave mean? You know? So... But having 5 physical people as players versus 2 affects speed too. Yes, very much so. Unfortunately, ideally I would have had the same 5 people, but 2 of them were the same as the original group, but I didn't have access to the entire group. And that's what I was saying I would like to do more comparisons of. So, like, take the same 5 people, or 3 or whatever, you know, a proper test thing. Like, set up the same environment, have the same people, give them the same time to look over the game and learn it and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, with Easy D6 specifically, if there were 4 players, I bet it would have gone even faster because the fight would have been over sooner. Like, because there would have been 4 player whacking at the goblins instead of just 2 chipping away at them, so... There would have been... The goblins would have died faster because they would have been getting hit more, so... It's interesting to think. I bet it might have gone faster, unless everybody was sorcerers. They're having to explain their spells. Oh. 30% more actions in about 1/3 of the time. Imagine owning your own abilities. 2 rules to your own game. Ah. Would nub. Yeah. So there's, you know, I'm not saying it's flawless data, but that's just what I did, and I thought it was fun. Yeah, and then I had, oops, hitting my mic. And then I had this bit right here. This was the map. Down here is like where the brawl actually happened, but this is the, excuse me, this was the good part, or the part I thought was the most interesting. When I ran this map in D&D at the campaign, you can see 3 sessions at 2 hours per session. That's how long it took to get through. We did the whole map in an hour in Easy D6. So, because that involves, there was, like you were saying, the friction of applying rules and stuff. They were like, what can I roll to search for this? Or I want to try and do this thing with this. You know, what stat can I use? Versus Easy D6 is roll 1, 2, or 3 D6. You know, is generally what you're doing. There's no sheet to look at. It's just like, is this something your character can do? Does it make sense? All right, roll. So. Whereas, you know, the D&D players were always trying to just milk the scene as much as they could. So that was also interesting. Where's my window? I think, yeah, that's all I got. So, from that little experiment. It was interesting. It was interesting. Like I said, it was fun, and at the end of the day, I mean, milk the system when the system hardly gives you anything versus just freely using. Yeah. So it's kind of a pointless endeavor or point to make. Like, oh, it took, what, D&D 6 hours to do this versus we did an hour in Easy D6. It's like, okay, is that a good thing? If I'm wanting to run a stream, yeah, that's great because I can do it in a small amount of time. But like, or I have a short attention span, that's great. But like, some people are like, well, I don't want a super fast game. I want tactical, and I want a lot of decisions to make and rolling and things to calculate and figure from. So then it's, you know, so it's neither good nor bad. For me, it would be bad. If you're like, oh no, it took us 6 hours to get through this map. I'd be like, I don't want to do that. If somebody is like, oh no, with this system you can do it in an hour or two, I'll be like, that sounds better. So. Raw time is the least useful stat. Yeah. Some people want to build a story as they play. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, it's... That was not happening in this dungeon, I can assure you, but I get what you're saying. This was just a dungeon run, and it took them a long time to get through it. But yeah, I mean, like, if you're having fun taking 3 sessions to get through one dungeon, you know, who the heck cares? And if it takes you a minute in action and you're having fun, who cares, right? That none of that matters. But I wasn't having fun, so. But the reason I got into this was to show that Easy D6 is, yes, it's so much faster. Not that D&D is bad. Because me personally, I don't know why you'd want to take so much longer to essentially do the same thing, which is stab the goblin and stab the goblin. But as it happens, D&D is bad. Well, you know, the other thing that always sticks in my side, it's like, okay, TTRPGs are supposedly, you know, about building a story and role-playing, and, you know, making that story, making a narrative, and going on that adventure. And it seems like if you're spending 2 hours in combat, that whole concept comes to a screeching halt. Entirely about dungeon runs, but they're still stories. That's right. So, I've been on that rant before about how I think D&D just does everything it can to stop a narrative, so I won't go down that rabbit hole. Some of the games in the Discord seem to want more roles than D&D to resolve state. Wow. I don't know if I've seen the ones you're referring to. And that's the thing, some of like armor, locations, damage reduction, status effects, all of those are very cool mechanics and concepts in video games. At the table, it's just too slow for me. Love them in video games though. Like a good mech warrior style of game. It's like, oh yeah, my arm's gone and I'm still running around with one cannon. It's like, oh, the leg's crippled. That's fun because you're not stopping to calculate in a video game. There is a difference in how many times you might need to stab the guy in different systems. That too. Back to work. Get to it, Cyros. Level of detail, increased time spent. This is the focus of the game. So I get confused with the people are focused not being the point a lot. Some people just want combat simulators, man. Which is, I feel like not accurate at all calling it a combat simulator, but that's what people call it when it has a lot of detail and focus on the combat. Because I don't feel like it simulates it very well at all, but you know what I'm trying to say. For combat to be the point, it would make sense, but your game is a narrative first social. Well, is it? See, that's what I was choosing my words carefully earlier when I said TTRPGs are supposedly story-driven games. Like, there's no law out there that says they have to be. It's just a role-playing game. Like, you assume the role of a warrior. This entire game is about combat. Nobody says it has to have all this narrative and interactive role-playing and whatnot. It's a game at the end of the day, so that's all it is. You just gotta find the flavor you like. The flavor you prefer. And that's the point of individual reviews, or indie reviews, is to find more of those games. Oh man, y'all look what just came in hot. Glee, you got, look at, if you're, pay attention to the stream. Look at this, look what somebody just made for us. Because they watched the VOD from our Moss and Stone stream. Wonder if Frogman's still here. He's probably went back to work. Oh, that's pretty good. You were actively in the chat. But you might not have had me on screen. You could have had the chat popped out. Oh, you're in, is it posted in the group chat too? Oh, she sent it to Parker. Okay. Oh, never mind then. I didn't ask if you saw it. Yeah, no, she sent it to me. That's great though. I love it. I love it. Awesome. Lounge is about to close. Yeah, well, like I said, I need to get back to work anyway, so. A little mouse with his giant blade, missing eyeball. Why does Phineas have a book? Did he have a book? Did I forget something about him carrying a book around? Yeah. Alright. Well, it sounds like everybody's got to go, which is good timing because I need to go. So, I don't have anything scheduled for the weekend. My brother will be in town next week. Or he's coming in this weekend, so that might affect streaming schedules. So, Book of Mosses. That's right. That's right. All right. So, be on the lookout for a stream schedule announcement or something, and I will see y'all when I see you. Y'all have fun at work. All right, mustache. Cool. I will holler at you then.